a religious family. Well, especially my mom. My mom wakes up at 3 o'clock every morning. She does her prayers. She prays about 3 times a day. Unfortunately, not to Allah, but she does have a very good heart. She has always kept me close to God for what I believed in as a little girl. As I got older, I've always looked for God in my life, always wanting to know who's God. There's got to be more. In my early 20s, I started studying about born again Christianity from King James Version. And I'm like, okay, this still doesn't seem right. And there's got to be more to it. And, when my sister got married in 2006, she got married to a Pakistani Muslim man. And I will never forget when we were doing the nikah in the mosque, there were some words, and I can't even describe them, that hit me so hard that I started crying, because we were taught as Sikhs growing up because of the partition. We were taught that, to kind of not like the Muslims, because of all the history behind it, unfortunately. But, Islam is one of the most beautiful, the only most beautiful religion I found love. And I found love from the day when my sister got married and when I heard the Imam say those beautiful words. And after that, my journey began, I should say. And it wasn't immediately after that that I accepted Islam. It actually was about a year and a half later.
So I
Um,
want to cut you a little bit because that is the fun in the talk show, to be interactive and to cut you and disturb here and there, because I want to think a little bit like the audience and the viewers worldwide, is passing through their minds as you talk. So before you accepted Islam, tell us a little bit about your background in India, because remember we have people of all different faiths and cultures that look at this show. So let us know a little bit, and I will ask the questions as you say things. What part of India you from? What did you do in India? You went to college, you went to university. What were you? What did you study? Before we get into this line of how you accepted Islam.
so I was in India until I was 5 years old. My father came over here in 1984 by himself to start a new life for us. My mom and I have three older sisters, so I'm the youngest out of four girls. We all went to school there. My mom raised us for a year by herself, took care of us. Mashallah, my mom's amazing. And we also experienced we actually had the riots in India
Had what?
where
What was that?
the riots, I'm not sure if you know about the 1984 where Indira Gandhi was killed. And it was a Sikh person that killed her. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, because we were Sikh and, India is mainly a Hindu population, we were being attacked. And because my uncle was in the army, they came and they got us out of there. They actually poured gasoline on one of my sisters and tried to put on fire.
Wow.
And yeah, and we were able to manage to get her into the house immediately. It was a very scary situation at that time. And my dad was not with us, he was in the United States. So we were taken over to an army base because of our uncle. And
Interesting.
yeah. And then in 1985, my sisters were dropped off with my aunt and in Catholic boarding school in India. And my mom and I came here in 1985 on the day of my sister's birthday, my older sisters.
Wow.
So it kind of get emotional. It's
No,
okay.
you be emotional. You let us know the truth. That's why, it gets a little deeper in the story
It does.
when there are tears and there reality. We know it comes from the heart. It comes from the heart. So you let us know. Tell us.
So we came here, and my sisters came in 1987. All three of my sisters, alhamdulillah, we were reunited. We didn't have much growing up, but my parents gave us the best life they could. I had three amazing, I mean, I look up to my sisters, mashallah, they give me a lot of great stuff. Then, they're not Muslims, but they're great human beings. And and as a young girl growing up as a Sikh, we don't have discipline. We don't have, certain boundaries as females. I'm growing up as a young Sikh girl in New York from 5 years onwards. I went to school here, have very Americanized ways, but I do have a lot of culture and languages that my parents made sure we spoke, we practiced. We have Holi, Diwali, all the wonderful cultures. But I no longer really practice those anymore. I just show my kids, Alhamdulillah, I have two young kids, but I show them this is what I grew up with, but this is not what we believe in. So they understand the difference. But growing up, I always wanted more.